Hey guys, it's 21 Maxwell here. Welcome to my first WWE save update. Basically, this is the WWE save I'm doing on TEW2016 offline, just having a bit of fun with it. As I said, I'd bring all my pay-per-views to YouTube. I say there's no real aim here. It's really just I want a save that's going to last from the start of the TEW cycle to the end, if possible, and really just see how dominant I can make the WWE and just see how much the landscape of the company changes over an extended period of time. So my first pay-per-view I changed it to make it Payback, which will lead me into Extreme Rules. I'll explain the storylines as I really kind of go through the episode. I feel that's the best way to do it. But few things I know. I don't know Bray Wyatt. I've just decided to keep him off television for just now. I've sent a couple of guys down to NXT. Apollo Crews is back in NXT. Enzo, Big Cass back to NXT. Braun Strowman. Really because I want to use these guys in the future, and I feel like it's the best decision to make sure their skill set is as good as possible. No real new signings as yet. I want to try and keep the roster realistic to start with. It's going to change obviously because like Balor wants to come to the main roster, same with Nakamura, stuff like that. So they'll be integrated into storylines very shortly. But any signings just been minor ones for NXT. Just try to use as many guys as possible. So it's an offline save, it's just for fun, but I did say I was going to try and bring as many pay-per-view events to you guys on YouTube. So without further ado, we'll jump into it. There isn't text in any of the storylines, so I'll just really have to explain them. But let's go on with the show. It is WWE Payback. So sold out in the StubHub Centre. Ideal, that's what you're looking for. One pre-show match. I didn't really have a storyline for these guys. Really wanting to push Cesaro, but nothing for him as yet. So in a decent pre-show match, Cesaro defeats Stardust in 8 minutes and 35 by pinfall. That is via the neutralizer. This got a C60 rating, so quite happy with that. Stardust is really just going to be an enhancement talent for just now. I might delve into that character, but I feel like I'll probably change him back to Cody Rhodes at one point. Stardust is getting better at the gimmick, which is good. We've changed it to like an alien invader gimmick. Cesaro with 68 and Stardust with a 57. Cesaro's improving performance skills, so that's good there. Bit of a short match, but I felt like it's hard to tell really because they're both upper mid-carders, but ideally in WWE right now, this would probably be a 10-minute match on a pre-show, so it is what it is. So we start off the show, and it's basically our announced team is going to be Michael Cole, JBL, and Jerry Lawler. I think I've worked it well. They'll do Raw and events. I think I've got Mauro Ranallo, Byron Saxton, doing SmackDown. I might have someone else in there. Corey Graves is doing like a main event with other teams. So I've basically got a couple of teams. It may actually be Corey Graves and SmackDown as well. This is my team for just now, so I'm not getting many negative ratings because of them. But I'm building a team for the future that will take over. I just feel like these are all older guys. As soon as one of them retires, I can bring the newer team that will have an experience level with them. They're talking about a main event, which is the rematch between Triple H and Roman Reigns for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, and it's a C+66. Obviously no worker improvements, dirt sheet, nothing there. Actually got a boost because of my Roman Reigns Triple H storyline. So we start the show, and it's basically The Miz cutting a promo on Zack Ryder. The plan was to do Zack Ryder's rematch for the IC title against The Miz on pay-per-view. The Miz got an injury on SmackDown, which is going to last a week, which rules him out of action. He's not available until tomorrow, so I'll probably do the match on Raw. It means he's unavailable to take part in this match, so it's a C62 for the promo. Pretty much going to keep the title on The Miz. I just wanted to give Ryder his fair chance and give him an eventual push as well. No skill improvements to speak of, and only one is Miz's poor momentum. We then see Dolph Ziggler and Zack Ryder backstage, shouting out they're going to be a team tonight. A B-75. I don't have really any plans for Ziggler at the moment, so it was ideal that this opportunity became available. He's going to team with Zack Ryder, who underperformed here. Worker improvements, neither, but hopefully this can benefit Zack Ryder. The match itself was only a C63. Basically, the plan of this storyline has been with the Miz's injury. Before he got injured, we were planning to bring back Alex Riley and Damien Sandow. And how ironic is it on the day of their releases that I was going to have them a type of comeback, basically saying our careers were great and we were with the Miz, but now they're nothing. So we're going to do what we can to prove to the Miz that we deserve to be with him again as in our mini stable. So they've been attacking Zack Ryder every opportunity to prove their worth to the Miz. In a match that had decent wrestling but didn't have much heat, Dolph Ziggler and Zack Ryder defeat Alex Riley and Damien Sandow in 9 minutes and 13 when Zack Ryder defeated Alex Riley by pinfall. C63 is pretty good considering obviously Riley's down as an opener. Ziggler and Sandow not suited to their gimmicks. But Ziggler were ahead with 82, Sandow with 60, Ryder 51 and Alex Riley with 45. Might give them a push. I'm a bit hesitant because they've been released in real life, but as I say, it's my save. I suppose I really want to do what I want with them, so they might get a push in the future. As I say, the longer I play my save, I'm going to get away from real life anyway. We'll probably end up with like mad stuff like Nakamura versus Kevin Owens in a main event at WrestleMania because it's massive, basically. Just as I say, mucking about offline, so I can see that happening. Damien Sandow improving technical skills, Alex Riley in performance, so that's a pretty decent opener. I'm happy with that. Next up, in just a match to fill time and about the terrible wrestling and non-existent crowd heat, Becky Lynch defeated Naomi in a 23 by pinfall with hard knocks. We'll just say it was a submission victory and it was the disarmer. D plus 50, nothing really for Naomi, really just try to push Becky Lynch, get her as over as possible. So her momentum is major positive. She got a 51 over Naomi's 33. No skill improvements to speak of, but overall, just a good victory for Becky Lynch on a good stage, which hopefully will give her a little boost to her overness. Next up, I've got a video hyping Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. It was actually meant to be a fatal 4-way feud, between Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Kalisto, and Ryback for the US title. Ryback failed the wellness policy, so he's on one strike. So it's now a triple threat match for the US title with all three guys. But these two are the main feud, so it'll be a C-57. The match itself was a decent match, and Kevin Owens defeats Kalisto and Sami Zayn in 11:47. And Kevin Owens defeated Kalisto by pinfall, we'll just say with a pop-up powerbomb. Kevin Owens wins the WWE United States Championship. Kevin Owens carried the match in terms of in-ring performance. B-71, so happy with that. KO, there's a storyline waiting for him, which I'm not going to reveal. You can find out at the next pay-per-view why the title's been put on Kevin Owens. But something happened in an item not related to this company. Someone's became available, and I feel that is the perfect feud for KO going forward. Kalisto with 57, Sami Zayn 63, KO with 76. Helps the storyline, which is ideal. Sami Zayn is improving his Rumble skills. Only negative was the low heat of the storyline. So overall, delighted with that actually. And after it, we have Kevin Owens celebrating in the ring to a B-75. Tried to keep it realistic with celebration angles and hype videos as well, because that's what we get in a real WWE pay-per-view. Next up and about, they had some decent wrestling but little heat. Charlotte defeated Natalya in 11:52 by pinfall following interference from Ric Flair. Charlotte makes defence number 1 of her Women's Championship title. C64, because it's changed to the Women's Championship, I wanted to give Charlotte a few title defences. Natalya, obviously in real life, is going to be the jobber for the next few pay-per-views. Maybe not at Extreme Rules, but she was always going to be the first one to make Charlotte look better before we get a proper packed women's division with women moreover. There's still a few of them that have no overness. Lana's not very over, the same way a few others. Naomi, Tamina. So it's really until the next generation comes through that I don't want to push Sasha Banks and Becky Lynch straight in there, because I want when they face Charlotte, both in like 50, 60 overness so the match can get into the B-minuses. Good chemistry, it lifted the match. Natalya with 59, Charlotte 61. No skill improvements to speak of. Only negative was Charlotte's poor gimmick. And after the match, to try and help Charlotte get a bit more pop, I thought the wrong person and said Natalya and Flair celebrate in the ring. So that angle was absolutely worthless. It was meant to be Charlotte and Ric Flair celebrate. So Charlotte got a bit of pop from it. But it is what it is. C-54. I fucked up. Next up, we have Rusev in the ring. He's basically going to call out AJ Styles. Styles will respond and accept the challenge. Really because both of these guys I didn't have a storyline for. Well, Rusev was in a feud with the New Day against the League of Nations, but I was going to use Alberto Del Rio and Sheamus in that match. So basically what I've decided here is Rusev's frustrated that everyone keeps saying AJ Styles. AJ's been winning matches against lesser talents so far, so he's challenging with a match, and it's a match to try and, give AJ a spotlight at Payback. But B-73, that's good considering it was rated on Mike's entertainment skills, so good on you, Rusev. That could be a good push down the line for him. Match itself done well as well. I might actually make us a few actually. And about they had good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. AJ Styles defeats Rusev in 12:32 with a springboard 450 splash. B-75, so I say ratings like that and the good chemistry, the pretty good chemistry, is making me think I might make this a feud actually. So I might need to split the League of Nations up, similar to real life, but that's promising. AJ Styles is improving his Rumble skills. The dirt sheet just has the length of the match, so that's cool. I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, it could be a feud down the line. Next up, a promo for the New Day. Just basically the three of them hyping up their feud against the League of Nations, C64. Really, again, just try to put the New Day over as possible because Sheamus, Del Rio have kind of like 70 over in this. Xavier, Biggie, and Kofi, I think, are about low 60s, high 50s, so it's a good chance to get them to that next level. So happy with that. No skill improvements to speak of. All positives there though. So good on you. Good on the New Day. Good segment. And the match itself, and about the head, good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. The New Day defeat Alberto Del Rio and Sheamus in 11 minutes and 11 seconds when Big E defeated Sheamus by pinfall with a big ending, and New Day make defense number 1 of their WWE World Tag Team titles. Cannot do the Xavier Woods voice. Obviously because you're starting again, this is their first defence when we know they've been defending the titles for a while, so we'll give them a good wee run with the titles again. B-71. Xavier Woods did some good work at ringside, although apparently Kofi and Xavier aren't a good pairing, which is interesting. Kofi and Big E, great chemistry, excellent chemistry, so that's even better. And this is what I mean, Kofi gets a 67 for in-ring, Big E 70, but look at Sheamus and Alberto, 78 and 80, they're very good hands to have in terms of putting people over. You're always going to get a good match from them, and hopefully that can help put the next generation over, because Sheamus and Del Rio are about 36 to 37 years old, maybe even older, so we kind of need to be looking forward as well. And of course it continues my storyline. No skill improvements though, negatives, quite a few, just psychology, inconsistency from Big E, motivation and chemistry, motivation and momentum for Del Rio. Sheamus' declining physical ability, that's what a lot of people over and try and drop him into mid-card because he'll be a solid hand there. And obviously the booking decisions because the less over team won, but I'm happy with that. Next up we got a promo from Dean Ambrose who's hyping up basically a match with Bubba Ray Dudley, A94. This wasn't really a feud, but I was struggling for people to put against Dean Ambrose. So I just really had him arguing with the Dudleys. I felt like let's try and bring in the Billy Ray character. So basically Dean Ambrose would keep pinning Devon Dudley, and Bubba Ray Dudley would just keep calling Dean Ambrose out. So A94, Ambrose always gets a solid promo, and despite not really being a feud of major lengths, they have a match, which is next. And it had great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd, and Ambrose defeats Bubba Ray Dudley in 10:34 with Dirty Deeds. B-76, somehow this suffered from a lack of psychology. That's a shame. But Dean Ambrose with an 88 rating, Bubba Ray Dudley with a 76. Just felt like Bubba Ray will be somebody that can mesh with some of the main eventers, but I do want to gradually build him down the card and putting people over. But say I had nothing for the Dudleys, so I felt a feud with Ambrose was a good way to kill two storylines with one stone, basically, to give them something to do. Next up, we've got a promo from Chris Jericho hyping up his match with John Cena. A B82. Simple means behind this feud. Basically, so John Cena was injured. I had him return the night after WrestleMania, so my first show basically. And basically, Chris Jericho just said, "Who the hell do you think you are? Stealing my spotlight." And I carried this company while you were down injured. And you think you can just come back and be the man again? Not on my watch. So that's why that's basically the gist of the storyline. And obviously I need to keep Cena winning because I'm really tempted to try the figurehead feature, and I might make him a champion. So we'll keep the John Cena, while Cena wins momentum train going. And obviously we've got a video to hype the match, which get a B plus 80X. I said I wanted to do that just to make sure we're getting solid ratings. The match was a B82 and an exceptional match. John Cena defeats Chris Jericho in 15:02 by pinfall with attitude adjustment. I don't get how there'd be a lack of psychology between John Cena and Chris Jericho. I think that's madness. But Cena with a 91, Jericho with a 77. Worker improvements, none. Negatives, Jericho's declining ability. Physical ability, Cena's declining physical ability. We need to start building new stars then. Good momentum for Cena, poor gimmick in Jericho, and a lack of psychology. I will say as well, it's different how you do a pay-per-view in terms of you can assign certain networks to broadcast it, so I just had to make sure I had the right pay-per-view providers. Hopefully I've done it right. I was assessing my first ever pay-per-view with any series, so I'll be intrigued to see how that actually reflects when I check it out after the show. So just mentioning that now. Then I have a video hyping up the match between Triple H and Roman Reigns, which get an A89, the I'm the guy and you can't stop me storyline. But the match itself flopped massively. Damn. Even though it says in a match that had fantastic heat and decent wrestling, Roman Reigns defeats Triple H in 22-24 by pinfall. Roman Reigns makes defense number 1 of the WWE World Heavyweight title. A C plus 70. It just didn't click. And that's going to probably make me lose pop in a lot of regions, so that's disappointing. Reigns foreshadowed a heel turn. I wonder where I'm going with that. Roman Reigns had an in-ring performance of 66. Triple H with 60. That's horrible, and that's definitely going to make me probably lose pop and have general storylines ineffective as well. But Roman Reigns is improving performance skills. I do feel matches like that prove he's not going to be the guy, considering the only negatives was Roman holding back, even though it's on pay-per-view, okay? Triple H holding back, even though it was on pay-per-view. And the declining of physical ability and the chemistry. So basically because of the chemistry, it didn't work. However, after the match, Triple H is in the ring with Roman Reigns. Basically here, Triple H says, you beat me, well done. Goes to offer the handshake. Roman Reigns accepts. And Roman Reigns has decided, you know what, I'm going to become a part of the authority. He's accepted Triple H's offer. And he is now the Authorities champion. So Triple H and Roman Reigns have shaken hands. Triple H has handed him the belt, and Roman Reigns, because obviously everybody's going to boo him anyway, is now the proper heel. So A93, Triple H was superb working without a script. Roman Reigns worked it very well as well. Announcing team wasn't so great. Seen no other ones there. Actually, a few negatives there. So that could have been even higher if it wasn't for the storyline being short and the poor announcing, but that should help the storyline. And I'm just going to turn Roman Reigns heel. It's been 2 segments, but I don't care. It's a great chance to get him over. Turn was a complete success. He's not a good guy. He's now a bad guy and the guy. And my show actually does get a B79, which increases our pop in 16 regions, so that may have saved it. Really just a case of probably just only to the UK, Australia, Europe. I think we'll just probably get the right rating to maintain a normal pop within the US. So, in terms of our speech, I think we'll go Kevin Owens. I think we'll go Chris Jericho. And I think we'll go Roman Reigns. So, in fact, actually, no. I'm going to go Rusev, actually. So, Rusev was a good example. Jericho complimented and Kevin Owens complimented as well. So Kevin Owens is pleased, Jericho's pleased, and Rusev's pleased as well. So this is the first time I've actually advanced a full month as well, so I'll get a proper financial idea of how I've been as well. The ideal plan is to get to a certain level and then I want to try and build the WWE network, but I was waiting until I had a lot of money in the bank in case it went wrong. Drew Galloway's won the Romanian Pro Wrestling Championship, Revolution Pro. I think it's what other saves had Romanian wrestling in it, sorry. Payback. Most fans like the show. I can double click here. So 7.37, 3.7 million buys, just short of 3.7. It was on Bell Express View, Dish Network, MVS Multivision, Sky Perfect, and Sky Box Office. So overall, I'd say that's pretty much a success if we're making money. The Miz is back from his injury. The Biggie wants a push. Del Rio needs a bit of momentum, which I'll need to work on. 7.37 is my first buy rate, so I'll need to obviously either do better or do well. I'm not sure how that's going to compare, so we'll see after Extreme Rules how we're going to be comparing in terms of buy rates. $5,000 on the drug fees, and Zack Ryder talks well. Give the kid promo time and crowds will respond, says John Cena. Just don't steal his girlfriend and make sure Kane throws him off a stage. So financially, I made 2.8 million, nearly 3 million, so that's good. If we can keep up at that pace, then hopefully I can get the WWE network sooner rather than later. Brian's got morale issues because I fined Ryback, or suspended Ryback, so that's why him and Ryback are unhappy. The rest of them are pretty much because they weren't used. So Stardust, actually, I think is a poor gimmick. Is it yep, recent booking, so poor gimmick on him. Big Show and Kane is because they were off Payback, so I'll give them like $1,000, keep them happy. Just really don't have anything planned for Big Show and Kane at this moment in time. But I say a few guys want to come up for development, so we'll probably integrate them into storylines going into Extreme Rules. But yeah, just going to quick look at my size. So some have actually gained pop, getting to 71. Some actually lost, so that's interesting, and that's down at 69. So overall, I'm quite happy where I'm at. We just need to keep making sure we're over 78 or over, 67 or 65s or whatever the rest of the world. But I think, and as it's the WWE, hopefully I can get to international. Although in one of the ways I'm quite happy if I stay national, just purely because then I don't need to have so many over storylines, and I can just enjoy playing for fun. I know I can turn storylines off and that, but I do want to challenge myself to an extent. But I say that's it for this episode, guys. I say it's no real time frame when these are going to happen. It's just really when I'm playing the save casually for fun, and when I get to a pay-per-view, I'll happily record it and let you guys see how my save's progressing even. Sorry. So thank you for watching. If you liked the episode, please leave a thumbs up. How do you feel it compared to Payback in real life? Let me know what you think in the comments section. And if you started a WWE save yourself, let me know how you're going, who you're pushing, who you've signed for NXT, etc, etc. I believe Samoa Joe's my NXT champion. In fact, we can go and quickly check that before I finish. Rang 1, Shell Companies, Champions, Heavyweight Champion, Samoa Joe because Finn Balor wanted to come to the main roster. He will debut soon. Still not Gable and Jordan, and our Women's Champion is Blue Pants because Asuka wants to come to the main roster. And I have no real plans for Asuka just yet, but maybe down the line. As I say, thank you for watching, guys. Take it easy, and I'll see you all real soon. Bye bye.